guys, Nick here. You're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com, a weekly live show about video games. We're proud to say that we've been at this since 2008 and have remained 100% independent since day one, and that means you'll never have to hear a sponsored ad on this show. So if you want to support what we do, all we ask is that you consider making our silly little show part of your weekly rotation. You can tune in when we record these episodes live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out. If that's not your thing, though, you can also subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast service, join our community Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, send us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. And that's it for shameless self-promotion. Time to talk about the latest and greatest in the world of video games. Let's get started. All right, hey everybody, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 874. It is May 7th, 2026, the day after Brad Simon's birthday. Happy birthday, Brad. You know,
fuck you.
I sent you a message in Discord.
My birthday.
He didn't see it, and now I could have just been like, I was saving it for the show. But that's not what happened.
Why is our Discord so fucking active? How far back is this?
I don't know.
Live people. What the
Heaven
shit?
forbid we have people that like talking in our Discord channel.
I'm quite proud of how active our Discord is. It can be hard. It can be hard to get a Discord really moving. So, anyways, happy birthday, Brad. Guys, we got a good show for you tonight.
Oh, that is.
We got a lot to talk about.
I think I did.
We had a fun. We had a fun night of trailer talk tonight. So we'll talk about Star Fox. We'll talk about Saros, Pragmata, Legacy of Kain. Brad, is that what
yeah,
you
we
want
can
to talk
wait
about?
on that one.
Oh my god, he gave me so much shit for, well, not so much, but he called me out in Discord for not putting that in the roster for the night, and now he's not even going to talk about it. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Guys, video games are upon us. But before we do that, I'm going to hit us with an icebreaker. Or, sorry, what do we say we're going to call it?
Icebreaker. We're calling it icebreaker.
Foreplay.
Oh, four player foreplay.
4Player foreplay.
Wait,
our question.
We had a name.
We're sticking with that. We had too many complaints. We had too many complaints. Yeah, those complaints. Those were real complaints.
I'm sorry. The joke was too funny. It was too clever.
Dude, people have been screaming at me my whole life. Too funny, they say.
Mr. Green Toast has a question for us this week. He's from Texas. We've met Green Toast.
Yes.
He is playing Starfield right now, strangely enough. And his question for us tonight is, if you had to swap your voice box with another person on the podcast so they will now sound like you and you sound like them, who would it be and why? Now,
I choose Joseph. Y'all pick. No, no copycats.
I don't think
that
you
is
can do that.
That is actually a good move.
I go Joseph.
Nick.
He said someone on the podcast.
No, I get Nolan.
I would like a time check.
We're allowed to do the extended universe.
I would like a time check.
You want Nolan? Come on.
Fine, then I'm taking Jack. I'll take Jack's voice.
Nolan doesn't sound very sultry or anything. What kind of voice you looking for, bro?
Why are you going after Nolan, man, when he's on the podcast?
To be fair, guys, we're four white dudes on a podcast. None of us have what I would describe as a sultry voice.
Take Nick's voice. Nick could get there.
I could get there
if he worked the dork out of it.
There are white people with sultry voices. What the hell?
But I'm just saying, we are not. None of us here are.
I choose Jack. I'm gonna lure all the women with my British accent.
I already picked Jack. I already said Jack. You guys aren't listening to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I would like so I guess my follow-up question to this is like, what is the benefit of taking somebody else's voice? The assumption is like if it's like if you could switch voices with like someone who actually has like a really distinct like great voice. That's one thing. Yeah. None of us here have that. We're all just dudes. Like
that's why I'm picking Joseph.
Why are we doing a podcast?
I mean,
we're ill-suited.
That is true. Fuck it. I picked Chris Davis.
Okay.
What a great answer. Let's go.
Sure.
Next question.
You can have my voice.
No. We'll leave it at that.
Extended
did everybody
universe.
answer?
I picked George.
Extended Universe Big George. Oh man, now I'm like going back in my head through the
I
extended
pick
universe.
Frank.
David?
Carlos?
David? No, I don't want David.
That was real quick.
Nobody's gonna pick Travis.
No. God, why would we pick
I mean,
Travis?
the only reference
canceled immediately. Oh wait, do I have to say the things he says, or do I just have to
No.
say
You just get his voice box. You just get his voice box. You can do whatever you want with his voice. See that right there? That might be. Is that what the attractive part of this?
No, it's not.
Like
It's
you
not.
can like
It's
fuck
not.
people over by doing.
The answer
stuff
was
with their
Joseph.
voice.
We all choose Joseph. Move on. He sounds.
What if we all took Joseph's voice and then we all sounded like Joseph on one podcast? I'd be like overwhelming. Anyways,
no. I picked Jeff. Okay. Jeff's got the best voice.
That's pretty good. He's got the Boston accent too.
I can't even do it, man. I just smoke a pack of cigarettes before I even try it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just a single pack of cigarettes?
Yeah.
One at a time. All right. Green Toast, we appreciate the question. Thank you. Guys, if you're a supporter on Patreon or Twitch, you can submit your 4Player 4Play questions for a future episode. You can find the link to that form on the Patreon feed or in the Twitch supporters channel in Discord, assuming your Discord account is linked to your sub.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
that name sounds dirtier than the old name.
4Player 4Play versus Dick Slickers.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
okay, whatever. Fine.
It's the name, though. I mean, it's a little punny. It's a little punny.
It's a little
clever.
punny.
It's cute. We're having
All
fun.
right. Before we get into the video games, I feel like I should say I saw Hokum.
Damn near killed him.
Oh, how was it? Was it
It's pretty
scary? Is it scary?
Look, this is another instance of like where I feel like I can't tell if it's the fact that it's not scary or if I'm just becoming super desensitized to this shit. It's got a like impeccable vibe, great writing, great story, genuinely creepy, but like it didn't even come close to like, for me it's Paranormal Activity. Like it didn't even come close, but that doesn't matter because it's a terrific film.
Do you think Paranormal Activity would still be scary if you saw it today, like, and you never saw it?
That's the scariest film you've ever seen.
That's, to me, that is one of the only movies that made me damn near jump out of my fucking seat and like consider leaving the theater.
Dude,
like,
I watched a movie
like running away in fear. Like
yes, like it. Well, I would not something so dramatic, but it made me like
no, but
like,
that's what I'm saying. You're leaving the theater because you're too scared.
It made me question if I can handle what I'm watching. is what I'm saying.
Dude, I watched a movie called So Torn. It was pretty sick. So like SEW, it was sick.
Oh,
it's like
what genre is this?
It's like a crime thriller, but the main character is a seamstress, and she uses needle and thread to like.
Is she the killer, or like is she like?
Or
is she the hero? Like
the movie's actually a lot like Run Lola Run, if you've ever seen that, or some other movie where I mean structurally very similar, but I don't know. It's got some like amazing set pieces that involve needle and thread, and highly recommend y'all check out So Torn.
So SEW space Torn. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's it.
Interesting.
That's it.
Okay.
It's cool. And just like the opening scene, I was like, what the fuck is happening there? And then when I was like, are they doing this? And they're like, oh, they're doing this. I called it MacGyver Poppins. I kind of like
okay.
Okay.
I mean, that has my attention.
You got to watch it.
It's
unique. It's certainly unique. Watch a trailer.
Crispy
I've actually never seen a trailer. This is one that Malia just put on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I think the trailer's good.
Crispy informed us that he just watched A Knight's Tale.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What's your take on Knight's Tale again?
Yeah, let's talk about Knight's Tale for the 10th time. What a weird movie. Strange movie. You know what, though? You know why I think that movie is good, though? Is because it's better in the second half than it is in the first half. I think it starts
as opposed to losing momentum.
I think if that movie had lost momentum before the end of its runtime, we wouldn't be talking about it today. But it does a really good job of building momentum up to the end. The beginning is really clumsy. The end is like perfect 10 out of 10 landing. Like
10 out of 10
such a good
landing,
movie.
okay.
Such a good movie. I will defend the needle drops with my final breath. Good movie.
No.
That is also one of the films that I occasionally find Robin randomly rewatching when she's not rewatching The Mummy. It's on the short list.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
That's true.
They don't make movies like that.
Like, you mean movies with Heath Ledger, you fucking jerk?
Yeah, that. Movies with Heath Ledger and movies that, like, shoot on location.
Oh, well, yeah, that's probably true.
That's true.
Hey, by the way, y'all should follow me on Letterboxd. I finally added 4 favorite films. I don't know if they're my 4 favorite.
What are they, bitch?
You have to go and follow me on Letterboxd to find out.
Oh. You're using this podcast to try and lure people into your letterbox.
Well, I want people to know what I'm watching, man.
I know, I'm kidding. You can follow me on Letterboxd too. Just don't be a jerk.
Are you folder Brad?
I mean, like literally, I could change it. Don't Chris Davis. First of all, don't even watch movies, so don't spoil the shit on the podcast. I mean,
he does.
Okay?
I just want to see. You
want to spoil the shit. You probably never seen a single one of these fucking movies. How dare you? I'm trying to say something that I could probably switch it to 4. He was going to spoil it just for funsies.
Chris Davis has seen Sneakers.
He doesn't even Kino Max like the rest of us, okay? How dare him? Anyways.
Dude, there's Brad Simon. There's Brett Simons.
All I'm saying is that I could probably change my 4 favorite movies every day. So don't.
You gotta go. You gotta go for yourself and read his pithy one-liners.
Chat. Someone give me the link.
You know, I noticed like Carlos was a true friend because we were like having a pithy back and forth like we always do, and we were talking about Letterboxd, and he's like, "Bro, you need to add your 4 favorite films," and I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know what to pick." He's like, "Bitch, I got you figured out," and he started naming movies that I really liked, like small movies. I'm like, "How did you know? I talked about that movie like 10 years ago. How did you know that I was considering that movie?" Anyways, whatever.
He's a true friend.
Those aren't the ones I picked.
You know, Carlos has been. I don't know what Carlos's newest ploy is. I don't understand it. He's like been DMing me in Discord every day, sending me pictures of a fucking pool, and I don't.
Of a pool.
Of a pool. I don't understand. I go to the pool. I go to a pool.
He swims a lot. That's all.
I swim a lot. But I'm like, why are you sending me pictures of a pool?
I don't think it's about you, bro.
But why is he sending it to me? I don't understand.
Same reason he sends you his food, man. He just wants you to know. He wants you to know what's up with him. If you're not gonna like be a friend and ask him how his day is, then he's just gonna force it upon you. How dare you?
Is that how
Nick?
this works?
I think so.
Is that how this works? Okay.
He's like, well, Nick doesn't want to check up on me, so I guess I'll send him some pics.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Fuck. Where are we? Y'all want to talk about Star Fox?
Are we gonna open with Star Fox?
I feel like we should open with Star
Fox.
For
this? I don't even have any water.
Oh God, are you that? Do you need that much?
He has opinions.
It's so hot here. I need some water.
So yesterday, Nintendo announced Star Fox.
Just
called
nowhere.
Star Fox, by the way. They did a random Nintendo Direct yesterday and announced Star Fox, which, if you remember correctly, we talked about this a few weeks ago. That was one of the 2 major releases that was rumored for 2026. The other one being the Ocarina of Time remake, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a little bit. But this, first of all,
so the leak called this a new Star Fox game, like in the classic style, traditional style of Star Fox. And the other thing they said was
that is a half truth.
It looked very visually impressive, is what they said, and that it has online multiplayer. But in the same breath, he says, "Oh, also Ocarina of Time is getting a remake, and also Mario's delayed." And this was Nate the Hate, who's confirmed to be like a real industry leaker who has real sources, countless times has divulged stuff. And this is corroborated by VGC, which is like Andy Robinson, and also a reputable leaker that has is frequently leaking real information. So it was corroborated, which means it was basically treated as true. So much so that like people were like drafting these games and like Fantasy Critic and all that stuff, right? But the thing is, in the same breath that he said Ocarina is a remake, he did not mention that Star Fox is a like 1-for-1 remake of Star Fox 64, which is like the big rug pull or whatever, or the big like bombshell, I guess you could say.
I think what the word you're looking for is disappointment.
Well, it is disappointing. So I will say that like Star Fox 64 is like the universal, like, everyone
It's
likes,
the only good Star Fox.
I mean, you could say that. You could say that. Like it is a great game, but it is the only one that like people agree. I mean, like everyone agrees that that's the best one, but it's also, you're right, maybe the only great one. Maybe the other ones are like I have a lot of nostalgia for the original on Super Nintendo, but like the truth is after 64 it gets a little dicey, right? So like they remade this game on the 3DS and they're remaking it again. Now, some people out there want to argue that the disappointment is not that it's Star Fox 64 again, specifically a game that people really like Ocarina of Time, right? It's one of the most loved 64 games, right? The problem is that Star Fox since the beginning has been doing very like kind of like reboots and reimaginings of the same story over and over and over again, and people are tired. Like Star Fox Zero is like in part ways also like a reimagining of Star Fox 64. It keeps happening. Like for whatever reason, they can't just like put out a new original game with like new original thoughts
because
or
every time they try
like
and do it,
evolutions
they fall on their
of
face.
relationships. They're just doing like do something new.
But every time they do, people shit on it. Like that.
But they haven't truly like expanded in terms of like the story. Like they've been experimenting with like gameplay and stuff and controls and like concepts.
I can't imagine caring less about a story than Star Fox.
But it's because they continually do nothing with it.
It's
like
always
people
the
like
same
the
thing.
Characters because they think they're fun character designs. I don't know. They like them in Smash. There's furries out there who love furry characters.
They treat it like Mario's story, which is like it's always.
Nintendo does this with a lot of their franchises. You know, there's like for a long time, Nintendo did not acknowledge a Zelda timeline. They were eventually bullied into it. But like the truth is, they're just rehashing the same like moving like game board pieces in like kind of semi-low effort stories over and over again for like decades. It's what they do with a lot of their franchises. They've been, and it's not just Nintendo, a lot of like franchises that started on the NES, like they sort of lived like this, where it's like, oh, here's the first one on Super Nintendo. I guess it's mostly just going to be kind of like that first one we did on Nintendo, but just like better and remixed. I mean, Castlevania was like that, Metroid's kind of like that, Zelda's kind of like that. Like so many of these franchises are just that. So it's not surprising that like they've evolved in that way. I mean, it's
not surprising, but it's a little disappointing.
It is disappointing. But
like also,
it could have
been. We talk about the elephant in the room, which is an even bigger elephant now. It's a bigger elephant now because I didn't realize until before we recorded this podcast, until we were in the midst of trailer talk, I didn't realize that people are upset about the character designs because they're less fuckable. I did not put two and two together on that. I like the entire time I saw the discourse and then I watched the trailer after seeing the reaction and I was like, they look fine. What's wrong with this? I don't think, I mean, it's not like amazing, but it's not like offensive to me. And then Brad made it clear. I guess. I don't know if I believe it. Are people really upset because I can't fuck these characters?
Yes.
Are more animal-like and less fuckable?
Yes.
Of course.
They're less like the cartoon like furries that, you know, like fursonas or whatever. They're kind of like cartoon characters with like furry heads but also tails and you know, it's not, they're not like animals. They're like you know, they're like mascots like at a fucking
they're people
theme
in
park or
suits.
something. They're people in suits. Exactly. These aren't people in suits. These if these were people in suits, they would be having a bad time. Like Falco has bird feet because I don't know, he's a fucking bird.
How did he push the pedals in his fighter?
Wait a second, you're telling me that before this game came along, Falco didn't have bird feet?
Haven't you seen him in
Have you
Smash
played
Brothers? He wore
Smash?
boots.
Smash Brothers?
Yeah, but I assumed in the boots they were bird feet.
You think he was
Not-
just like scrunching up bird feet into those
Like, I'm gonna be
normal
clear.
human boots?
He doesn't just have
Yeah.
bird feet in this. He has like bird legs, and they're coming out of a bird ass.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of hunched over. Like this is not a human with a
Like,
bird head.
If you really think about it, Star Fox must have been the like furry impetus for a lot of
The sexual awakening for a lot
of contemporary furries.
No,
right?
The self-respecting gamers that knew Sonic games sucked
Yeah.
leaned towards Star Fox, Fox McCloud, right?
Oh my god.
Oh no!
It's too much. Oh
Isn't
my
it
god.
weird to think that Falco used to have toes though? Ooh.
It's such a shame though, because some people were pointing
He
at
had
the box
claws,
art for
dude.
the Super Nintendo game and going, "Oh, it's kind of like the puppets that are on the cover art for the Super Nintendo game," which is kind of true. But I don't know. I think it looks fine. I especially like the look of the like the comms or whatever, like when other characters are speaking to you in the ship. Like they've definitely captured a certain look to it that I think looks really nice. I think the game in motion looks really nice. I'm excited to play it on a Switch 2 because a lot of the Switch 2 first party games have looked really good. Like every time I boot up a first party made for Switch 2 game by Nintendo, I'm always like, oh yeah, that's right. The Switch 2 is powerful and sexy and stuff. It's not like the Switch 1, which always felt like it was struggling, right? Breathing hard or whatever.
Breathing hard.
The Switch 1 was kind of like that.
So
But this is nice and smooth and pretty.
It is pretty. But the biggest addition to the game really are these cutscenes they're adding in to actually add some level of character narrative and all that. And I'm wondering, like, do you think that they outsourced that to Illumination?
What? No.
Oh, do we even know who's developing this?
No.
We don't.
Also, no. But no, not Illumination. This doesn't even look like the movie. Like some people were disappointed because they liked the Fox design in the movie, and this ain't that. Especially importantly,
we're talking about the Mario movie.
Yeah, the Mario movie. The Fox McCloud introduction in the Mario movie was like a sick anime sequence,
and people want to fuck that version.
Well, of course, but like Nate the Hate, when he said like this was visually impressive, some people were hoping that it would be more stylized, and a lot of people were thinking they just seen the movie and they were thinking about the movie like, oh, well, what if it is like a sick anime Star Fox? I mean, the other elephant in the room here is I picked it up in like Fantasy Critics Super League when it was unannounced.
So
and
many elephants.
Super League does not allow remakes. They only allow reimaginings. And it would be a stretch to call this a reimagining. It is being hotly debated right now. But here is the more controversial part of this, that's driving me fucking crazy, is people are trying to have it both ways. There's a lot of people out for blood, right? Because in Super League, which has over like 100 players across different divisions, only like one person each of those divisions could have picked up Star Fox, right? So it's already like a handful of people arguing against dozens and dozens of people, probably like in the biased, like self-interest way, right? Whatever. Here's the thing, right? There was an entry that's been sitting in the Fantasy Critic database for years as just an unannounced next mainline Star Fox game, right? That's what the entry was called, right?
And they're slipping this into that.
When Nate the Hate announced it, he said there's going to be a new Star Fox game in the classic style and an Ocarina of Time remake, right? Nowhere in any of that information did it say that Star Fox was going to be a remake, anything, right? It just wasn't there. And these leaks were corroborated and treated as gospel, right? So Elite, who runs the site, he makes calls on certain things. He pulled the game off like the dusty old entry off the database that said new mainline entry. And that's what everybody bid on. That's what I bid on. I bid on a game called Unannounced Mainline Star Fox game, right? And when this game got announced, which was a very clear 1-for-1 remake of that game, like a blue pointing or whatever, he decided to use and turn the mainline entry into this remake entry, which is very specifically not that, because to me, mainline entry suggests not a spin-off, not a remake, like a new mainline game, which this is so not that. Instead of what he should have done is created a new entry saying that, well, unannounced mainline game is not this. Create a new entry for Star Fox 64 Remake, and then people could have bid on that. That would have let people who had the unannounced new game.
Is he not backing down on this?
He's not backing down. Well, it's hotly. For the last 24 hours have been crazy, for real. But what I'm saying is that way, people who didn't have because what he said, if I rule this as a not a new mainline game, like if I create a new entry for the Star Fox 64 Remake, I will let anyone with Star Fox unannounced new mainline entry will not release drop that game. Because at that point, we can assume that it's not coming out this year. So anybody that has that can just will not release drop it. In most leagues, will not release drops are free, right? Even in Super League, you get one free will not release drop, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. This is clearly not a new mainline entry. Make the remake entry, and then we can all drop it. But nope, he decided to turn new mainline entry into the remake. So now everyone who drafted this as a new mainline game now has it turned to the Star Fox 64 Remake, and they can no longer like in the championship division, remakes aren't allowed. And I'm stuck with this game that can't get a score. Like I have the Star Fox 64 Remake, but we don't allow remakes. But like that should have never been done because a new mainline game is not the same as a fucking 1-to-1 remake. Am I crazy?
Man.
Am I crazy?
I mean, no, you're not crazy, but like, his
argument that Star Fox is kind of a dead franchise that's been gone for like 10 years. So this is like a new mainline game. Like this is their mainline effort. So I'm going to consider this a mainline game. And you know what I said? I said
that would be like calling Silent Hill 2 the Bloober Team a new mainline entry.
Which honestly, I would more lean towards that because at least that was like a complete. Like that was like not a 1-for-1 remake by any means.
That was a
reinterpretation. Right? But look at it this way. I gave them the example. Well, if Star Fox is a dead franchise and now they come back and this is their mainline effort, isn't Metal Gear Solid a dead franchise? Would you consider Metal Gear Solid Delta to be a new mainline entry? Absolutely fucking not. That's insane, right? If Metal Gear Solid Delta is not a new mainline entry, then why is a remake of Star Fox 64 considered a new mainline entry? That's horseshit. It should have been separated in the database, and he fucked us. He fucked us so hard.
Well, Brad.
Now there's people with backs against the wall, like the 12 of us that have it in Super League, are trying to convince him that maybe he should consider this a reimagining, so it will actually count in Super League, because it's super unfair that we're stuck with this 70. So they're trying to say, well, maybe we can call this a reimagining, because last year he agreed that Dragon Quest VII Reimagined was a reimagining, but like truth is, like even he was like, I'm mostly leaning towards this because it had it in the name, but it's really not a reimagining. But everyone's like, but homie, you said that's a reimagining, so why can't this be? Because it has online multiplayer. I don't know what everybody's saying. But everyone, there's all these people out for blood. They're licking their lips. They're like, you play with fire. You're gonna get burned. You shouldn't have drafted an unannounced game. Which, first of all, bitch, it was largely considered to be fact. It was. I've been listening to podcasts and stuff like from like people in the industry, and everyone's just talking about it like it was real. So let's stop acting like it's some crazy unannounced. I'm reading the stars, Chris Davis pick or whatever, right? So, secondly, sorry,
that's true.
Secondly,
No, you're not.
People are trying to like say, well, it is a mainline game because Elite said so. Also, it's not a reimagining. Or so another reason Elite said he's going to call it a new mainline entry is because he said the whole Star Fox series has been kind of weird remakes and reimaginings and reboots, which is only true in terms of the story. In terms of gameplay and like level design, all of those games are completely fucking different. Completely different. So like that's disingenuous.
There's a reason why you can identify Star Fox 64 by sight.
Yes. And people are like licking their lips because it's kind of like 100 against 8, right? Because all of the other people who are arguing for us not getting to will not release drop it, they're up against us. You know, they want us to hold these 70s. They want us to have 0 points. but it's very competitive.
They want to cheapen their win.
Yeah. Well, that's what
they want to win.
It's like this really how you want to win? But then
Nick, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
Exactly. How fucking dare these people?
Brad, I'm going to assume this is the drama you were teasing earlier in Discord.
Yeah,
dude, go look at the threads. It's vicious.
It's vicious, dude. People are being rude, and they're like,
there's people typing in the debate thread right now.
Yeah,
people on the internet being rude.
He's had to lock the thread multiple times. Last night he went to a play elite, and he's like, "I'm gonna have to lock this thread down until my play is over."
He took in a night at the opera.
He comes back and he said the play was fine, and he opened it back up. I was like, "No." I mean, I've been to an okay amount of plays in my life. You know, I'm not like an avid play watcher, but every play I've ever seen is like fucking goated. I don't know. Plays are good. I don't know.
This conversation took a weird, unexpected turn.
Plays
at the end.
are good.
I saw.
All right.
I saw famous Hollywood actor Miles Teller play Snoopy the dog in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. In high school.
Dude, fuck Miles Teller, right? He was Snoopy?
in the theater.
Dude, I think about Crispy every time I see the meme of him from Whiplash where he's like jerking off. You know what I'm talking about?
You think of Crispy?
Why
you're jerking off like the dude from Whiplash? You think of
the meme?
No, the meme of Miles Teller where he's like it looks like he's jerking off. You know, like where it's like the world is ending. It's like me trying to like rub one out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know this meme? Okay, I'm gonna find this meme.
I think you invented this.
Of course not. I saw one today.
You saw Miles Teller's dick today. Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it is.
Anyways,
somebody pick up this conversation.
Crispy's high school sweetheart. What did he do to you, Crispy? Why do you hate him?
Dude, that's right. Dude,
why do you assume I'm the one in the wrong here? You know.
No. I think he's the one in the wrong. We all agree he sucks. Like no.
I did watch The Gorge, and that had his. It's all right. It's all right movie.
That's a weird.
He didn't do anything.
Oh, he was fine.
No, he's cool. We're cool. We still talk sometimes.
Shut the fuck up, dude. There's no way Miles Teller would talk to you. He's an asshole. People in the industry say he's an asshole, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah. He can't be that much of an asshole because he's like, there. But aren't they all?
He was in the Gorge. Ain't nobody, that's not.
Man, why couldn't it?
He was also in Top Gun Maverick.
He was the bad guy in what was that awful young adult book that they turned into a movie? It was like called the somethings, the
Fantastic Four.
Divergent. That's what it was called.
Oh,
Fantastic Four. Yeah, how do you get to come back after that? That's crazy. That movie.
Michael B. Jordan did. You got to be good. You got to be likable. I don't know.
Okay, but what about Mara? What's her face? Why isn't she getting work? What about who even played Ben Grimm in that
Rooney
movie?
Mara? Or no?
All right, I found the GIF. The GIF.
Who was in Fantastic Four?
No.
I posted the GIF in Twitch
Rooney
chat.
Mara. It's Fan Four Stick.
Did you know? Isn't it crazy that Rooney Mara and Kate Mara are sisters and they just pronounce their last names differently?
That is crazy. Didn't like
Kate Mara is the one who pronounces it correctly. Rooney Mara is the one who made shit up.
Rooney Mara. What? Okay, Kate Mara. What's the last thing she's done?
Nobody's gonna look at my GIF.
I've looked at it and I don't believe it's a real meme.
Hang on, I'm getting through something here. She's in Invincible.
Dude, I can't wait to make Falco
where did you
jerk off.
Oh my god, what the fuck? He just but his face sucks, right? Like we can all agree that like he is not like a.
I don't know, man. Have you seen the gorge he pulled on your Taylor-Joy?
I was on J.K. Simmons' side in Whiplash. That's how much I hate Miles Teller.
Yeah.
It is a meme. Like the GIF is commonly paired with people being like, "As the world ends, this is me trying to like rub one more out before the explosion hits me."
He was Dracula. Let's be real. That stupid bitch.
Anyways, do we want to comment on what this means for the Ocarina of Time? Like the Ocarina of Time remake.
So that is weird, right? It is weird
that
he didn't know that this was a remake, but he did know that Ocarina of Time is a remake. So
also, I think the elephant in the room here in regards to this is that means, so we had both of these that were heavily rumored that are like, if these both prove to be true, it's obviously like maybe they're two major releases, like two like first party releases for the year. And
Sort
if
of.
this is true, both of them are remakes,
Yeah.
which seems.
I mean, Nintendo has other
Seems-
stuff though, right? Like
Which seems
Fire
pretty
unfortunate.
Nintendo to
Emblem.
me.
I mean,
they
that's
have- they
fair.
have
That
stuff.
is fair.
They have Splatoon, they have Fire Emblem. These are new games that people will buy and are excited
I
about.
know, but I mean, I'll buy. Don't get me wrong. I will be there day
But-
one
but,
for
like, do you
Ocarina of
think
Time
this-
remake.
Nintendo-
But
do you think Ocarina is like the same type of remake, less of a remake?
I would imagine it's.
Hold on. Let me. There's three parts. There's three potentialities here. Let me set them up. Do you think it's the same kind of remake as what we saw here, more of like a 1-to-1 but an art thing?
No.
Do you think it is a lesser than? Because, I mean, if Nate knew that Ocarina was a remake but not this,
What
that
is a
could
lesser
suggest
than?
that
What is a
it
lesser?
leans-
Give me an example of a lesser.
Is
Than.
well,
that
like
just like an
leans more of
upscaled-
like a remaster or
It's
something.
like the original app, but upscaled a bit.
Like the
or
like the
like
Ocarina
the
of
3DS
Time
game,
Yeah, the 3DS. Yeah,
glowed up.
I don't
or
think it's
something.
that
Okay,
either.
okay.
Or do you think
wait,
it's
wait,
more
wait.
of like a complete like reimagining using like Breath of the
Are you
Wild
saying
engine?
Link's Adventure, like the remake of Link's Adventure, is
No.
the second category?
No, that's the third one. I would say.
No.
Okay.
No. The first category is like more of like a remaster than this game even.
Oh my god, is it still on the table that it could be a Breath of the Wild like, but set
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time?
That is like the ideal, right? I think that's what people are hoping, that it's more of a
Dude,
reimagining.
I think
Considering
that's
that
like
Star
real.
Fox is
that
not
remake.
that.
I am incredibly skeptical that was ever a thing. Right? Like that's
Considering the fact that Star Fox
what this
is
is
like
gonna be.
very unambitious in terms of scope, makes me
Yeah.
think that the Ocarina of Time remake must be a much bigger project.
this is gonna
Why,
be this is gonna be
if he knew this was a remake, Ocarina was a remake, and that he didn't mention that Star Fox was.
But
Well,
it's gonna be the same game. Like Hyrule Field is still gonna be the same Hyrule Field. It's just gonna look prettier and have like wind and grass physics and stuff.
I mean,
Right,
I don't know if
so-
that's true. They're gonna have to make it much bigger.
That's what
They'll
I
have to
think.
scale it
I
up,
don't
yeah.
That game world was
think they- I don't
tiny.
think they will.
That game
No,
world
I
was
don't think
tiny by today's standards. I don't
Yeah,
think
but
people could go.
But
from...
you're still just like Link running everywhere. It's not like you have horses and vehicles. Well, you got Epona, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's not like traversal was a core mechanic of that game.
It's true.
So
yeah,
I mean,
it
you're
has
right.
to
does
be
it need to
completely
a bigger-
reimagined. Completely.
I just think we're also talking about, like, say what you will about how good Star Fox 64 is. It's fine. Like
It's
Ocarina
good,
of Time
it's great,
is
it's great.
considered like one of the best games ever made. And like I
Sure.
just don't. I feel like if you're going to
Do you
remake
think
that, you
a one
can't
for
just
one-
like you can't just do like a Star Fox level remake.
But why
of
not?
that.
Why not? Like Ocarina of Time on 64 is a much more substantial game than Star Fox 64. Correct?
It is.
You know, Star Fox 3DS, 64 3DS, and Ocarina of Time 3DS came out in the same year. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So history is kind of repeating itself this year, if they're
mean-
both coming out. But like,
So-
they're selling Star Fox as 50 digital, 60 physical. 50 digital, 60 physical.
It's
The Star
in
Fox-
some
Double dip on
places
that.
it's
There's no
50
tor-
physical.
Notoriously a game you can get through in like a couple hours if you're just like mainlining it, doing single routes, whatever.
Right.
Ocarina of Time is a much more substantial game than that.
Yeah,
so
it's
so
a
if
40,
it
50
if it is
hours,
like a Blue Point style like fancy visual remake, is that not would that not be enough? Would that not make people
I
happy?
think the big difference here is that expectations are different in a post Breath of the Wild world.
I'd agree to that. I'd agree to that. But like it's obviously not a mainline game, right? Can I say that like unannounced mainline Zelda is in the database and it sure as shit would not count for Ocarina of Time remake? They
Well, I mean,
didn't
I
just
think it
flip that
depends.
one over. They created a new one,
I mean,
which is
I think
not
it-
even
listen. Like if you also want to compare it to something like the Resident Evil 2 remake, like that was enough of a reimagining that I would consider that a mainline entry in the series.
Which one?
Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah. But
Like,
but I mean
that
that is
was-
more of like a reimagining, right? But
Yeah.
but like,
Like,
I don't know, is that considered
like, added
mainline
new
in terms
mechanics
of
and
Resident
shit.
Evil when they have a mainline series running alongside it? It's still a remake.
I don't know, man. The fucking
But let's get past the fancy critic thing here real quick. So
Sure.
so in
How dare you.
the way I'm thinking about this right now, first is
There's
that
nothing past fantasy.
if that project is real, if Ocarina of Time remake is
You
real,
have to assume that at
then
this point it is real.
I these days I don't know, man. If it is
Then
real,
counterpick me, bitch.
and it's coming out this year. It's going to be revealed at their direct in June for SGF.
Sure.
If it's not, it's not happening this year, and because like they basically shadow dropped the announcement of this game of the Star Fox for a release next month. I understand that's a much smaller project, that they much smaller scale for what they theoretically could do. But
You're saying not a new
this is
mainline game?
this is Ocarina of Time. This is the most celebrated Zelda game in the history of the franchise, bar none. So, if that's their big game this fall,
it has to be more than just a simple reskin.
Yeah,
I don't think that's true. Who?
Okay, guys,
no one.
We're literally going in circles here because
But I have one more really interesting point to make.
He's positioning this as a big deal because it's very circular what he just said. It doesn't have to be Nintendo's big game this fall if it isn't significant.
But I think it's gonna be.
I mean, what else do they have this fall?
We've seen Nintendo re-release Ocarina of Time before, and it not be like the big thing they're doing
on 3DS.
Yeah,
but
they've done remasters.
But now they think a Switch 2 is a 3DS. I don't trust Nintendo to have the same perspective on their franchises that like most of us in the hobbyist Western gaming space do. I just don't. I don't know. Like, I'm sure they know how important Ocarina of Time is to that franchise, and they know how important that franchise is to their brand. But they don't make decisions like that. They have like a huge board of like 80-year-old men who like make these decisions. Like, it doesn't make sense.
The other thing I'm thinking about is that like, who's developing this? Because it shouldn't be the core Zelda team. They're busy working on the next mainline entry. So the studio that immediately comes to mind is Monolith, in which they wouldn't be working on the next Xenoblade. They would be working on this. Because they did contribute to both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So they've got experience with this stuff.
We can't speculate on that until we actually see what this Ocarina of Time remake is. Which I think is why we're kind of going in circles here.
Breath of the Wild was 3 years ago, and it took 6 to 7 years to go from Skyward Sword to what's it called? Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
You're right.
And it was another 6 to 7 years to get to Tears of the Kingdom.
I think we can all agree that we'll never be able to play Breath of the Wild for the first time ever again.
Correct.
Which is sad.
Without a head injury, yeah.
I mean, we feel we feel the same way about things like Hollow Knight. Anyways, we need to move on. We do have games to talk about tonight, like actual.
Oh God, are we just now starting the podcast?
I mean, there's not a ton, but Saros, I do have a game. I do have a new game I would like to talk about. That I am. Okay, first of all, can I just say, I am currently playing 2 games right now, kind of side by side, that I consider to be some of the best feeling games that I've played in a long time. Just like, if we're talking pure game feel.
I have opinions.
What games?
So I'm playing Pragmata. I think I'm almost done with Pragmata.
Really?
That is the most like frictionless game.
Whoa. We like friction, Nick.
No. Listen. I'm just talking about like friction in terms of like
bad
rough edges. Like bad friction. Like the kind like it is just smooth. Like everything works.
Usability.
The camera usability, movement, platforming, combat. Like it's the fucking to me it's full pack. Like it is catapulting to the top of my list for the year already. Just because of how it feels to play.
Can I jump in there real quick?
Yeah.
Because I agree that the game feels really good when I'm playing the game where I'm at now, which is almost done with it. And I've got like a million boosts and stuff. And as someone who has been trying to clean up all of the challenges and perfect all the challenges, the game does not feel the same.
I've been doing a lot of those too.
And all of the challenges, you have like no boosts and they run out super fast and they're asking you to do like platform. Yeah, I know. But like they're asking you to do platforming, but like that's when I realized like, no, this game doesn't feel good when they take away all that stuff.
The laser platforming one with like 3 boosts is infuriating.
You run out of boost a little too much. You jump a little too like slowly. You move a little too. You turn a little too slowly. Like it's only when you're playing like with like a more upgraded character where I feel like the character feels good, because I look at the platforming challenges in those sections and I'm like, in any other game this is not hard. In this game it's hard. In this game with all my stuff gone, it's hard. But it's only hard because like when I'm missing jumps all the time because there's a little too much air momentum with not enough air control. It's just barely off of feeling good.
Or he doesn't catch the ledge properly, or tons of things.
Now in the main game, when I have like a shit ton of boosts and like all these crazy weapons and stuff, and I can, stay up way longer, it feels good. But
I mean, here's the thing: the challenges for me are very much like if I try a challenge and I don't feel like my character is upgraded enough to like do it comfortably.
No, challenges you'd use a pre-made character. Your upgrades don't affect challenges at all. You're often like way under.
Okay, then maybe I should rephrase that. Like when I come up against a challenge that like I can't pull off in like the first 2 or 3 tries. I just move on to the next one. And I'm like, I'll come back to that later.
What I'm talking about. Like I'm
doing a lot of those challenges. You're talking about
they do start off really easy. But like towards like the back like quarter of them,
the last
like it's asking you to do.
But like, also that's not the game I'm talking about too. Like we got so focused on the challenges thing. Like,
but we're about to talk about Saros in a second, and like those are games that feel really good like immediately.
Yes, in a way 100%.
This feels funky.
I just wanted to bring this up because I've played more Pragmata this week than I've played Saros, and I am loving this game just in terms of. And I think the like hacking mechanic in combination with the like gun combat and stuff is just so chef's kiss. It's so good, and like it's reminding me of like how it feels to like destroy things in binary domain. I feel like I reach back and grab that reference a lot.
It's so fucking funny that Nick is a binary domain fan though, right? Because that's the Yakuza developer as well. It's very Japanese.
Really?
Yeah, and it's RGG. Yeah, it's RGG. They made that.
Fuck, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together on that. I love that game.
Ryuga Gotoku.
Yeah,
I love that game. But anyways, I'm gonna finish Pragmata this weekend. But yeah, the main game I want to talk about tonight is Saros. I have the I guess we call it the spiritual successor to my 2021 game of the year, Returnal.
It's just a sequel, right?
I mean, it might as well be.
Not a like story the stories, sequel, but it's
the stories
the next
have
one of those. It's the next one.
Yeah, the stories have no connection, but it is unmistakably a follow-up to Returnal. Just in the terms of the way the game is structured, the way upgrades work, the way because it is a oh my god, why is the word escaping me? Oh my god. I've like had a brain fart. I've like forgot. What do you call this genre of game? Brad, help me out here.
Third person shooter?
Bullet? No. Where you do cycle.
Roguelike.
Creepy girl.
Yes. Oh my god, like roguelike
Wrong game.
Completely left my fucking vocabulary for a second.
A creepy girl game.
But yeah, it's got the same roguelike element. Oh my god, Brad. Why are you doing? Or not Brad, Crispy. I hate you. God, people listening at home have no idea what's going on, but thank you for that. That is pretty fucking good. Anyways, yeah, as far as Saros is concerned, like there is anybody trying to convince you that this is not a follow-up to Returnal or it's not in any way connected to Returnal, they're lying to themselves. This is
like
too.
Dark Souls after Demon Souls or whatever.
Yeah,
I know it's a new
100%.
Name, come on.
100%. And that's not me throwing shade. I do think it's. I mean, because I legitimately think Returnal is one of the like coolest original titles of the generation. And I'm, this is shaping up to kind of have the same effect on me. But there is a little bit of like, as I'm playing it, I'm like, I love Returnal so much, but like I'm Saros. I'm going into it immediately thinking, okay, this is just more Returnal, which is fine. But it's a little disappointing if you were like going into it expecting this to be like some new, completely original thing from Housemarque, because it's not. It is Returnal 2. But yes, this game is fucking rad. The story setup is pretty interesting so far. You're basically this like team of enforcers that's been sent to this planet by this corporation to find a group of colonists that vanished on the planet. So you're like the fourth team they've sent in to try and find this colony that disappeared. And they get there and then they realize this world's super fucked up and like it changes shape all the time, and it's like there's a civilization that was here and all this stuff. But the actual like game loop and the game feel, like if you're watching, like you move so fast in this game, and I struggled to kind of remember how it compares to. I mean, I know you were very agile in Returnal, but I don't feel like you were this agile. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe
That's
it's just
unusual
been a while
for a sequel. Yeah, they just kind of tuned up the character. It was like Returnal was very fast, right? Your character would fly around.
This feels at least because it's been like 5 years since I've played that. Maybe it's the same, but it feels faster to me. It's kind of hard to tell. But like the whole like bullet hell thing that is like Housemarque's thing that they've done and everything works so fucking well here. And it's so goddamn satisfying killing these aliens, robots. I don't know what they are. There's like organic and robotic enemy types in this game, and they're both fucking amazing. Like this, playing this on a PS5 non-pro, I'm like, this game is running fucking beautifully. It is so snappy, so gorgeous, and the particle effects are on point.
This is a game where I'd like to do some platforming challenges in, honestly.
Yes, 100%. Like you are incredibly agile in this. Which is despite the fact that I describe Pragmata as being one of the best feeling games I've played in a while, it's kind of for different reasons. This is one of the best games I've played in a while because of just how it feels to move through the world.
Yeah,
the way you jump, the way you dodge, the way you shoot, the way you throw up your shield. It all feels really just so snappy. And I beat the first boss last night, which if you remember bosses in Returnal, they're a bitch. So I did that for the first time. So I got to the second area because like a lot of the footage that they've shown for this game leading up to release has been, I think, the kind of this first area. So I'm finally kind of in a new area that I haven't seen a lot in the previews. And yeah, it's just continuing to do really, really cool stuff. But it's all just like, it's all slightly tweaked improvements over what they did in Returnal. Like the like everything down to the like as you're running through the world, you're finding these like upgrades that are temporary, and once you eventually die, they go away. So that's how your run differentiates every single time. But then once you get to a certain point in the map, you trigger an eclipse because the whole story is built around this like the crazy shit that happens when the eclipse happens on this planet. And all of a sudden, all of the upgrades now come with, you get this perk but it comes at this cost. So it becomes a game of like weighing whether or not you want to take the chance picking up this upgrade because it has some really cool stat boosts and like passive abilities and stuff. But at the same time, it's like every time you take a hit from an enemy, you like lose a bunch of experience or something like that. So it's just, which is all just kind of, again, recontextualizations of the mechanics as they existed in Returnal. But as someone who loved Returnal and considered it their favorite game of the year, I'm okay with that.
That was your game of the year that year?
That was my game of the year that year. One of the hardest games I've ever played.
Really?
And I mean, it's.
I heard this was not as hard, or what's up with that?
I don't know.
Honestly, like interesting to. I mean, that's a little more exciting to me.
I mean, a little less. I don't know if I'm far enough to like really gauge, because I'm still early enough that like I still feel like in the grand scheme of things I'm probably pretty weak. But I did, it took me about 4 or 5 tries on the first major boss of the game. Like, and you'd think like a lot of games like they'll throw you up against the first boss and it'll feel kind of like a boss with training wheels, kind of like this is how the game works. Fuck, the first boss they put you up against in this game is just like pure chaos, just fucking beams of light and colored bubbles everywhere, and you're zipping around dodging, and you have to time your shield perfectly, and then it has 3 fucking life bars, and I was like, this is insane. And I finally got all 3 life bars down, and then all of a sudden the fucking arena like closes in on you, and then you have to eliminate 1 more fucking life bar, but while you have much less space to move around it. Like it's crazy. I don't know if it's going to ultimately feel like it's harder than Returnal, because Returnal was pretty unforgiving. This feels like they've probably tweaked a lot of that stuff to make it like you eventually, like, the boss for this first zone is actually very close to the entrance of the zone, but you have to go through the entire zone and get to a certain point to get the thing that you need to unlock the door to take you to the boss. So when you come back into the zone, the journey to the boss is less. And I don't know if that's going to be like a trend going throughout the entire game, but that certainly feels like, okay, maybe we shouldn't make people have to trek through like an hour-long cycle every time they fail at a boss. So they've made adjustments like that.
It does. Well, it seems like people don't like this as much as Returnal, and I want to know why.
The 2 things that immediately come to mind are, one, just how like Returnal it is, and to the point where it feels less original. Because to me, Returnal felt very original. Okay. This feels like Returnal 2.0.
But like the story of Returnal,
the story was immediately compelling. In Returnal. Yes, in Returnal. This,
I agree,
kind of throws you into the deep end, and like the characters are talking about stuff that you have not really been made privy to, and you're kind of figuring it out through context clues at the beginning.
Already, like what was exciting about Returnal was like the mystery. You're alone. You're stuck in this loop. It's dark mystery. I don't know. It's compelling. You're telling me there's people talking?
Well, like
pay attention.
When you come back to every time you die, you reload like the cool thing here, when you die, you actually like are born out of this like primordial ooze that like forms you into a new being, which is kind of cool. But you're back at the base, and back at the base there are NPCs, your fellow enforcers that are wandering around, and you can talk to them in between runs and stuff. And you're finding audio logs out in the world and stuff. Your favorite thing, Brad. But
sick.
I mean, the compelling thing, the most compelling thing to me so far is like when you go out on the first run, and your first run typically, I mean, it takes a while until you finally come up against something you can't beat, and then you die. And then when you come back, people are like, oh my god, you're back. And he's like, what do you mean I'm back? Of course I'm back. And they're like, you were gone for days. And he's like, days? I was gone for like 30 minutes. What are you talking about? So like they're like, time must work differently on this planet, and they're trying to piece how the planet works when you don't know, they don't know. That's the compelling part, and I am interested in it, and they are definitely like teasing like some character driven like mysteries that I'm into. But yeah, the story in Returnal was immediately compelling. It's a little simpler, and I think that worked in its benefit. I don't know if that ultimately has much to do with why people aren't vibing with this as much, because mechanically speaking, I think it's just as impressive. It's just less original.
It looks like something I really want to play, and I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't play that first one much. Well, I did.
How do you feel about the color yellow?
Yellow's fine. I'm cool with yellow.
This is the yellowest game since Deus Ex.
I heard it's there's a term that people referred to when they said that this story was like this thing, and they referenced True Detective season 1. Do you know what they're talking about? Like that type of story or whatever.
No.
I mean, well, yeah, I get maybe. That might be kind of what I was alluding to a minute ago, because the first season of True Detective
The Yellow King.
Well, I think they're talking more about the story structure.
The King in Yellow.
I think they're talking about the story structure, because in True Detective, you're like, they're jumping back and forth between time, and like they're not telling you everything. And maybe that's kind of what they're doing.
This doesn't take place in Grim Carcosa.
What?
Oh, it does take place in Carcosa. Like the planet's
called
Carcosa.
Oh,
yeah, the planet's called Carcosa. Maybe so maybe there are some subtle references to True Detective, like that are more on the nose. I don't know. You should watch True Detective season 1. It's pretty good. Actually, I'd recommend.
Story. You should read it.
Literally, who hasn't seen that?
Well, Zlade in chat says, what?
Of course, Chris Davis has not seen True Detective season 1. Jesus.
Then why ask the fucking
He's probably
question?
he's
The
probably
only season you need to see.
He probably watched season 2 and no other.
Dude,
and was like,
season
no,
thr-
I don't want to go back to season 1.
No, I would
Season
watch
3 and 4
season
are really good,
6
too.
first and then not
Season
bother
6
with the
doesn't
first 5
exist.
seasons.
There are 4 seasons, bro.
Yeah, but in
Season
in
3
2
was
There
really
are
good. I
5
didn't like the
lights.
ending, though.
Suck.
Anyways, neither here nor there. Look, the only thing I want to complain about in this game is that I'm struggling a little bit to kind of like keep track of like some of the mechanics, because like one thing they give you in this game that wasn't in Returnal is you have this like alien corruption thing that you build up, and I think it's called there is a stat called proficiency, which I think is a number that kind of is goes up as you boost your base stats and get stronger weapons and stuff, and the higher that number gets, the stronger you are in a run. And then there's a super like weapon that you can like charge up and shoot at an enemy that is called something what somebody in chat now, it starts with a P as well. It is strangely close to proficiency, and I'm getting them fucking confused every 5 seconds. But like, yeah, I in general, I think the like stats that you have to keep track of are a little more complicated. No, not potency, Winged, but that's close. You're on the right track. There is proficiency and something else. Maybe I'll look it up after we finish this conversation. But aside from having to keep track of some things and struggling, great fucking time. I'm looking forward to playing more of this. It's easily one of the most responsive, fun games to control. If you haven't played Returnal, you should play that or this. I don't care which one. They're both pretty damn good.
Okay.
I mean,
cool.
You like bullet hells? This is a good one.
I mean, I'm more of a bullet heaven guy these days, but
that's a lame dad joke.
It's not a dad joke. That's what they call the genre, bullet heaven, where you're the bullet hell, like a Vampire Survivors like.
Oh, really? That's what they call that?
Some
I had
people,
no idea.
Bullet heaven.
Is it prominence? It might be prominence. Okay, yeah. Proficiency and prominence are two different things. And every time I see the words, I have to like, my brain malfunctions and I'm like, which one are we talking about here? But anyways, that's my only struggle. All right. What else we got game-wise? Anything? Brad?
I think that was it.
That was it?
So I want to, I mean, Chris Davis is going to like be silent until all of a sudden he's like, I have 3 games to talk about. So let me try to like organically lure him in. I saw you saying like, oh, I'm surprised I finished a video game before Brad, when that happens literally every time we play the same game these days. Because you
first off, I was making a Prince joke in chat. But second off, like we're talking about Vampire Crawlers.
Well, you opened by saying, I'm surprised I finished this before you. But like,
yeah, because when I do that. When I had talked about it last week, I had only put out like 8 hours of the game, and you'd done more than double me.
Also, so Brad doesn't finish games.
Yeah, I don't finish games, at least not like in a weekend like you. Also, yeah, I just sort of stopped playing the game because I got sort of bored of it. We talked about it last week where like I was immediately like, when I first started playing this game, like, I don't get it. I don't like it. I'm going back to Slay the Player 2. And then I binged like 20 hours of it. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. But then I got like to the point where I felt like I pretty much like, I'll give you an example. I booted up the game for the first time after like days, like a few days ago. And I'm like, all right, let's just do a run. I like this game. I'm going to do a run. That run took like 2 hours, and like I figured it out like immediately. It was just like I had, like half a dozen wild cards or the equivalent to wild cards, and I was just doing endless spam. And I was at the end I was fighting the boss of floor 1, and I was already exhausted. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to do 4 more floors of this when I've already basically I can't lose. And sure enough, like an hour, like 2 hours later, I'm done, and it was not challenging at all, and I beat death. And every run evolves in the exact same way. So yeah, I put it down again. I just got bored of it. It was very like one note, like in terms of like the strategy, and there's no reason to alter from that strategy. The game was too easily solved. And like that's fine, but the problem is the runs take so long where I'm like, like in that last run, I had almost like 1,000,000 gold, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get back to spend some of my gold, but that's gonna be like 45 minutes from now. I guess I got to keep clicking cards. It takes so long to get through these runs. It's crazy. Like let me be clear. It takes a long time if you're trying to maximize like the amount of gold you're making. You're trying to keep the combo going. I mean, you can just like at a certain point you could just not keep the combo going forever, but the game kind of rewards you for keeping the combo going forever. So it takes so long. Is there like a hyper mode or a speed mode? I thought at some point I unlocked hyper mode, but I don't know if I've ever turned that on. And Vampire Survivors, they were 30-minute runs, but eventually you can unlock a mode that gives you like 15-minute runs and kind of skips the slower bullshit at the beginning. Like you move faster as well.
There is a
Do they have
hurry
the
mode that you
does that
can
do?
activate that lets you basically detonate a nuke to clear out the first couple of layers of a dungeon.
I feel like I did that once. How come I never saw that button ever again?
Because you had to activate hurry mode every time you start a run. Yeah, it's not every time. Also, like, okay, so we were talking about infinite combos last week, and I hadn't hit that point, and that was like very enticing to me. What I was hearing from you, the idea that I could just keep going and just ruin these motherfuckers' days forever. And I started to get to that point, especially lately after I'd rolled credits. And then I found out what I experienced firsthand the mechanic of the punishment for trying to do infinite combos.
Which is cool.
That's really cool.
But then at some point it becomes no longer a punishment when you've solved the game. It's like, I don't care how many deaths show up. I can't lose because I've solved the game. That's been my experience.
Well, I mean, but my experience has been when I shattered the cards, like, and started fighting the purple deaths, like, those cards you don't get back. They are completely erased from your hand for the rest of the run. So I didn't realize that when I kept playing cards and doing these infinite combos.
You do have to learn how to play without
I nearly
summoning.
fucked myself.
You do have to learn how to play without actually getting to that point. But like, it's not that hard to do once you.
Oh no, it absolutely is. Like, I had some incredible runs where I had over like 200 health. I had like 800% experience boost, like all these sorts of things going on. And now that I've got like the ability to, save the destroy cards and prevent them from being destroyed when I play them, I could repeatedly get 100%, 200% boosts based on how I set up my combos. And it feels good. It feels really good. The one thing I haven't done yet, because I've rolled credits, I beat the final boss. I haven't actually beat like an end of a run death, a Grim Reaper. I have.
It's not like I have. Yeah. You just got to have like a
lot of freeze cards. Yeah.
Well, if you have enough card draw, you don't even have to. I mean, if you could do 2 or 3 and still beat death, as long as your scaling is good, but and you know how to combo well. I mean, you eventually like you've been able to like modify the rarity of like the gems like wild and stuff. Once you can do that, it breaks it so
first thing
easily.
I did was modify the rarity of evolutions to where it's just common. So thank fucking God.
But evolutions, I mean, if you're hurting the enemy, you're doing it wrong. You want to scale without killing the enemy, so never mind. We'll talk about
We're getting into the weeds, guys.
He's a deck building amateur. It's fine.
I am a deck building amateur, but I'm having a lot of fun.
This is a very like good entry level deck builder. Honestly, like I think this is very pick up and play, especially if you like Vampire Survivors, which is very pick up and play. So it's cool. But I've been playing a bunch of that.
I want this game to have like a ton of DLC. I want every single map and every single thing that they drop for Vampire Survivors to be put in this game.
I mean, I agree
you're
on one
going hard
DLC,
on
but you
Vampire
see what I'm
Crawlers,
saying
huh?
about like the dungeon design and crawling is like very
I
repetitive.
mean,
and,
it's
like,
not interesting
there's
dungeon
nothing to
design,
it.
but
But like
they're
the
always
level
adding
design
stuff.
in Vampire Survivors was like interesting, especially like in the DLC. So I hope
Castlevania.
it gets there. I
Yeah.
hope it gets there for sure. But yeah. And then I still been playing a lot of Slay the Spire, and
Yeah.
that's that.
Word. Anything else anybody wants to throw out
What's
there?
Crispy been playing?
Oh, I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2. And
Cool.
Monster Hunter Stories 3 a little bit. And
I'm actually really looking forward to finally jumping into that.
Can I
It's
ask
really cool.
why you're like trickling along in that? I mean, when
Why I'm
I was
slow
playing it, I
rolling?
binged so hard.
Oh, not for any real reason that has to do with the game. It's just more like a lot of my game time. I sit down and
He
I
just
wanna,
said he's
like,
playing. He's just said
I'm
he's
playing
playing
Slay
Slay
the
the Spire too.
and Final Fantasy 14, and that kind of eats up a lot of my game time.
There it
only because
is.
it's like, no. But it's like I don't have a lot of time anymore to just like sit and play for like a few hours. Which every time I play Monster
Yeah, I
Hunter
get
Stories
you.
3 is what I want to do, you know. But like
Yeah.
I log in
Mhm.
to like do what the next objective is, and then it's like, okay, it's a new chapter, so you've got all these different side stories to upgrade your party characters, and I want to do them, but like I just don't
You're
have time
right.
right
They
now.
give them to you all at once,
They
and
give
it
them
is
to
kind
you
of like
all at once,
exhausting.
and you look at them and you're like, okay, let's go.
But
And,
the
like, 'cause
rewards
they
for
all
that
have
stuff
their own.
is good, like new
They're
weapons
great.
and stuff.
That,
For your
like that being how you gear up your party members is really cool. I like that, and I didn't even realize that's what was going on at first, because like at one point, what's her face, the main girl, Bernice, Beatrice, whatever.
Yeah.
She like now has like an Axum like great sword. And I'm like, where the fuck did you get that? That's better than my sword. Like, like it's really fun. I don't know.
She's so strong.
She's great, and I got
but-
dude. I got I went for like the deluxe edition that came with like the different costumes for the characters.
Yeah, I
It's
bought
really
one.
good.
I bought
It's
the
really
one
good.
for
She's got like the Anjanath like warrior girl bikini thing going on.
that's not the lady I'm repping.
It's a sick look.
Gunlance mommy. Gunlance
The
mommy
Gunlance mommy is sick too, and she's got
her outfit.
the really
When
like
she-
beefy what is that? The rock looking monster. I don't know.
Basarius?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. She's wearing that armor. It's
not Basarius. She doesn't have a Basarius. She has a not Basarius. Basarius' dad. Gravios.
Gravios, Basarios
Yeah.
Senior.
Yeah.
It's really sick, and I'm
her DLC outfits very good.
It's a really fun game, and just flying around. Like one little thing I'll say about it that I noticed last time I was playing was like, man, they really nailed the feel of like flying around on a dragon. Like it feels like a big kind of like gliding, flowing thing that you're trying to like ride the air currents and glide around. Like I don't know why, but that just seems really cool. That like
it's cool.
It's not.
And then when
like,
you get a Palamute, you go so fucking fast.
dude, the Palamute. I got a Palamute. I finally got Palamutes. Okay. That shit's sick. Like
and they can climb and shit, just like the game.
They're like tiny compared to all the other monsters.
Yeah, because they're Palamutes.
But they fucking zoom, and it just. I also love that like all the different skills that they add, like the weapon skills that they added to the game that were originally introduced in Rise. When you use them, all use the wire bug. Like you use a wire bug for like certain skills, and it's like, yes, fuck yeah, because Rise was sick. I don't want Rise to go anywhere. Like I want that to stay in the zeitgeist, and I keep thinking about like them doing another fucking Generations Ultimate style Monster Hunter that has like the different hunting styles where like you could play a great sword, but like
dude, that right sword styles.
Like, and they should make a new style that's like a fucking ninja hunter from Rise,
making
where
Brad
you get to
excited.
use like the wire bug shit. Like
dude, the
so
great sword
cool.
in Generations Ultimate was like the
sick.
sickest iteration
dude,
of that weapon.
So good. I mean, that whole system of like having different styles for everything is like, I don't know why we gave up on that. That should come back. That's really fun.
It was a lot of it was turned into wire bug shit. I mean, look, I need my blast stash back. Okay, as a Gunlance main, I need my blast stash back.
That is like the most hype shit from Rise. Like that needs to stay in the game. Didn't have anything to do with wire bugs, so every Gunlance user should be able to just like fly across the map.
It's so good. It was so beautiful. I mean, I love the Gunlance and Wilds, but I mean, come on, man.
Bringing Brad to tears.
It's fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think the time has come for us to wrap up the episode with the 4-player minute. Our final thoughts for the week. Hype, sweat, thank you, fuck you, whatever the fuck you want to do.
No, we don't do that anymore, Nick.
Sure we do.
That's a different show.
All right, fine. I'll do an old school one. I'll
do
go
it old
first.
School.
My hype for the week is Castlevania Belmont's Curse. It's coming out later this year. Hype is shit. They showed it, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago I saw a new video for it. It looked a little clunky. I think it's going to be good though. I mean, Dead Cells is fast, so I don't know. I know I'm not talking about Star Fox. My hype is Castlevania Belmont's Curse. My second hype, because I'm going to do all hypes because I'm a loser and I don't like to think too hard about it. And 4 hypes are easy, and you motherfuckers always did multiple hypes, and it's not fair. Whatever. Okay. My second hype is for Bloodstained, The Scarlet Engagement, which also supposed to be coming this year. I'm getting 2 Castlevania games this year. Hype as fuck. Can't wait. I don't know if that's
just one of them's ugly.
That is true. I mean, actually, a lot of people think that the new Castlevania is also ugly. You know, it's just not the art style people want for their Castlevania games, I guess.
I think it looks great.
I don't think Castlevania fans will ever be satisfied by anything.
I mean, they are one of those fandoms. There's a lot of like infighting and stuff, but I mean, they always like come together to agree that like Symphony of the Night is peak, which is nice. It's nice to have one of those, right? But other than that, it's a bloodbath. I don't know. 2 Castlevania games. I still have this weird feeling that Bloodstain might get delayed. You know, there was the death of the director, of course, but that
could do it.
They are committed to still shipping the game this year or whatever, and I don't know. Again, not Iga. It wasn't Igarashi. He produces, not directs, but it's because people always ask that when I say the director of Bloodstained died. I'm like, no, he wasn't actually the director. Still equally sad. Yes. Also, Mina the Hollower finally got its release date. My other Castlevania game, Secret Castlevania game, Castlevania meets Zelda. Fuck you.
I'm just fucking with you. Just keep going.
Mina the Hollower, it's Game Boy Color Zelda meets Castlevania, and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't wait. There's a Mina the Hollower plush that's like never been on sale, but it was part of the Kickstarter, and it looks so sick, and I want it so bad. I can't wait for them to actually sell that because I really want to buy it. Maybe I should look for one on eBay. And then my fourth hype. What else is coming out this year? Let me do one last hype. My fuck you is, of course, all my ops in the Fantasy Critic Discord, who are like, there are people who are trying to save Star Fox, save their seasons, and it's gotten to the point where like, I go in there, I'm making my arguments, I'm saying my piece, but you know how I talk, right? There are people who are like, they just they don't care what's coming out of my mouth. The fact that I'm saying it means they're already disagreeing, and that I'm fine. I play the heel sometimes. Elite sometimes has to pull back the curtain and go like, Brad, like, I get it, but like, the way you're talking to people, of course they're acting this way. And yeah, it's true. It's fucking true, right? It's always been true. So there have been times where it's like, Brad, just chill for a second. Like me not contributing sometimes to a side of a debate can help the legitimacy of the argument. Even though we're saying the same things, when it comes out of someone else's mouth, it's more effective, which is fair. So I've asked, we have like there's like a SNES dude on the Fantasy Critic Discord. He's like a goat. He's always like doing awesome charts and presentations and stuff. I've asked him to like can you actually just, instead of me trying to explain how all the Star Fox games are actually very different and that a 1-to-1 remake should not be considered the same thing as those, can you like compile like a comparison between all the different Star Fox games to show these people? Because if I say it, they're just gonna like throw tomatoes at me, which is it's not fair. It's not fair, and a lot of them know they're doing it, and it feels very disingenuous sometimes. But whatever. So yeah,
Is he gonna do it?
My fourth and final hype is the Star Fox 64 remake. Fuck you. There's a
Is he
lot
gonna
of
do the
people-
chart?
He hasn't responded, but he is like a real one.
The
He is a real
jury's
one.
still out.
He's probably just like
Okay.
sleeping or something. He's a
He's
real
one
one.
of the ops.
He could come through. I mean, he's come through a lot of ways before. He's he's the manager of the championship division. He's in the championship league. So like him supporting me isn't going to like me having Star Fox and not be a zero only hurts other players, right? We're in direct competition with each other, but he will like argue in favor of like, well, let's try to remove bias, and I'm
The
just going to present a
integrity
bunch
of
of
the
data.
game.
He just presents data, right? And like I've won arguments because he's presented data that I've been screaming at people. And I'm like, where SNES dude shows up and goes, well, technically Brad is correct according to the data. And everyone's like, oh, okay. Everyone sort of calms down, stops throwing tomatoes. But yeah, so I'm hoping he comes through for this one. Anyways, yeah, my fourth and final hype is Star Fox, the 64 remake, because there's a lot of people who are saying Star Fox sucks anyways, even if we get to keep it. They're like, oh, you don't even need it anyways. This shit was going to be like a 76. And I'm like, fuck
I'm
you.
slowly remembering.
I want to
why we
lose
don't
on my
do it
own
this way
terms, not
anymore.
because of some dumb fucking technicality. Anyways,
Thanks, Brad.
yeah.
Chris Davis, you ready?
Okay.
Do whatever you want, but
Yeah, I think I will. I think I will prove that I can actually do this. My hype this week is for a game that got announced today, but we did not watch a trailer of it because I forgot to add it to the queue. They announced Aliens Fireteam Elite 2.
I saw that.
That game, the first one, it was scrappy. It had issues, but it was fun. I had a lot of fun playing that. I'm still upset that Nick never actually played the fourth campaign with me, because the first and the fourth campaigns were the best. That's when the game really shined, and he quit out like a bitch before he even finished the third campaign, which is sad.
I did.
Literally
Hey, but
no one's played that
if the
game.
video game crowd or if the video game trend continues, like making a sequel is where it gets the budget that it needed the first time, and they end up making a better game. That's usually what happens. So hopefully that's what happens here.
They've confirmed that the game is going to be crossplay. It's coming out this summer. They're adding it looks like there's going to be 4 players now instead of 3, which great, awesome, excellent. And they're adding a new customizable specialist class where you're no longer really class based. You can actually customize how you see fit. So that'll be good. And they're adding like it looks to me like they're adding a new dodge mechanic, where if you get grappled, you can actually get out of it this time around compared to the first game, which was the death of you so many times, and a dedicated horde mode at launch, which the hordes in that game were the best part of that game. So I am
Days Gone?
very...
Days Gone?
I mean, Days Gone, yeah. My sweat this week goes to Vampire Crawlers. I should be stopping this game. I really should. I have things on my docket that I want to play.
There it is again.
But then I load up a run of Vampire Crawlers, and it takes me an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours to do a run, and I get so invested in it, and I'm having so much fun with Number Go Up. And then I realize the time, and I'm like, shit, I could have devoted this to XYZ thing that I wanted to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. All true. No lies detected.
Yeah. I'm going to throw it back really far. My secret shame is that I have all these other games I also want to play. And right now, I just want to do another run of Bioran 3, because that was fun the first time I did it, and I want to do it again.
What is this?
Oh, it's the Resident Evil randomizer.
Oh, okay.
Just
See,
call
you
it the
should've-
Resident Evil randomizer.
It's called
Maybe.
Biorand.
I know.
Yeah, but nobody knows that.
Maybe just call it the Resident Evil randomizer. People know what randomizers are, and that sort of thing.
But you know what
Okay.
you could be doing? You could be playing XYZ instead of that again too.
True.
Yeah, I could be. And
But hey, it's your world.
it is
whatever you
my
wanna do.
world. I can do what I want. It's my money.
Mhm.
And my fuck you of the week goes to Brad for assuming that I can't do a regular 4-player minute from back in the day.
I don't think he assumed that. I think
You did do a
think
lot of
that's-
hypes.
you also did a lot of hypes, but that's neither here nor there. Crispy, it's your turn. You don't have to do a classic 4-player minute. You can do
I'm
whatever the fuck
doing
you
it.
want.
Let's fucking
Okay.
go.
Well,
My
now I
hype-
can't be a bitch. I can't bitch out on it.
You
I'm gonna have
gotta
to do
do
one.
it, Nick. My hype is for whatever my next game in Fantasy Critic is. I don't remember.
You
He's
don't
waiting for
even know
he's
what it
waiting
is.
for me to bid on it. That's why.
I'm waiting
You
for
stupid piece of
Brad
shit.
to bid on it. Come on, bid on it, Brad. Come on.
Hey, Titanium Court
buy a
underperformed a
game.
little bit at least. So
Oh, Titanium Court. Oh,
Actually, it did pretty well.
Lego Batman is actually my hype. The 22nd.
That's coming
Lego
soon.
Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight does genuinely.
What if
look-
that low key becomes like the best like Arkham style game?
Dude, you joke.
well,
That could
yeah.
be. That could be. I don't know,
mean-
man. Like Gotham Knights was not that great. Like,
Dude, I
it
think
was
that
kinda
trailer we
whatever.
watched tonight sold me because of the Seal song, because of "Kissed by a Rose."
Yeah.
Like, I was
Really?
like, oh my
There's
god,
That's
something-
what
there's
sold
something
you
about
of all
Lego.
things?
There's
Yeah.
something about Lego that lets them have more fun than normal. You
Mhm.
know, like
Yeah.
if you're doing a mainline Batman Arkham thing, it has to kind of have a certain tone to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that game is like overly serious. Like it is still kind of goofy, but like goofy in a like
In a good
like not trying to be goofy, but like it's just goofy material presented seriously, you know?
yes, yes.
And then with Lego, you can just be like, nah, fuck it. He's put him in the rainbow Batman suit and play Seal, Kiss from a Rose. It'll be great. And it is. It's fun. You can do whatever. I love that. My
Sweat.
sweat is for
Fuck
Brad
you.
running out of money. How am I gonna find games to bid on if he's not bidding on
Sorry,
games because he
sorry.
can't afford to?
Oh, we're talking
right?
about fake money. We're talking about fancy fake
Yeah,
money.
my fake money.
Okay.
My fuck.
That's
you
true. That's true. I was
goes
so
to
close
Star
to bidding on this
Fox.
too.
My fuck you week goes to Star Fox
Good.
because fuck like.
What?
I don't know. I wish I was cool. I wish I liked things that people like.
I mean, I
Star
think
Fox is stupid.
I'm surprised you don't like Star Fox. Honestly, you seem like someone who would have played that back in the day. I'm
I
like,
did play
yo.
it back in the day, and it
Nice.
was fun. But then, like, it's another one of those games that I played later on. Like, I went back and played GoldenEye at one point. It was like, nah, I don't know about this.
That one doesn't really hold up as much.
Yeah. But I
So-
feel like Star Fox is kind of the same way. I don't know. Star Fox would be cool if it didn't have all these goddamn furries. My
It's racist.
well, let's see. That was hype. What did I say? My
You did
sweat
hype,
was?
sweat, fuck you.
Fuck
so-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll say thank you for
Or you can do shame.
new Final Fantasy 14 expansion coming out like earlier than normal. Comes
When
out
is
in
that coming out?
January. They announced it a couple weeks ago, and it comes out in January. I don't think they've ever done less than a year on turnaround time for one of these expansions from announcement to. And it looks sick. I can't wait. Evolved Combat's gonna be sick. I hope,
When is that
or
hitting
it'll
again?
ruin anything. What?
When is that hitting again? Do they, or
I
does
just
it have
said
a date yet?
January.
January. Okay, I must
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what the new classes are.
Cool.
I love it. It's fucking sick. It's you know what seriously reinvigorated my enjoyment of the game? Them removing class restrictions from glamours. Now you can use armor pieces from any class to glamour any other class. There's no level restriction anymore, no class restriction. You make some sick shit.
This is one of those times when like
fucking
I don't know
cool-looking
any of those.
fashion shit.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
It's all transmog. It's just like
Oh,
you
okay.
fashioning your character. So like
Gotcha.
if I have a healer, I can make them wear tank armor. You know.
Okay, see that makes sense. Cool,
Shut the fuck
cool.
up, Nick. My fuck you of the week goes to Nick.
Yeah, there we go.
You fucking boomer.
There it is. All right, my turn. My fuck you of the week goes to, I'm guessing, Nightshader, who made this.
No, that wasn't Nightshader.
It wasn't.
I credited. I attributed in chat. It was.
Who was it?
It was Ashif96.
Ashif? Ashif did this?
Thank you, Ashif.
My fuck you goes to Ashif, not because of the content. It is a genuine meme, but the speed in which he did it, and the fact that I'm looking at this picture of me, and I'm very familiar with this picture, and I'm pretty sure he ran this through AI, because there's something wrong with my face.
Nick, to be fair,
was
you
Nightshader?
did this to yourself.
If it's AI, we got it. We're canceled. Oh no.
It's pretty
If
sure
it was Nightshader, he would have put your face over Miles Teller and me in the back with the picture with the eyes rolling back in my head or whatever the fuck he always
and
uses.
the jug of milk.
and the jug of milk. I'm just kidding. I love you, Ashif, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you used AI in this. Anyways, my hype for the week, I'm gonna say, aside from playing more Saros, which I'm really enjoying, I am looking forward to. I'm starting to get excited about 007 First Light. Read some of the previews stuff that we talked about briefly last week, and it's all sounding really positive, and it's all sounding kind of like the best parts of Hitman combined with some of the less frustrating shit about Hitman that drives me crazy. Not really part of the equation. I'm really into it. Also, I just love, especially after our conversation last week where Crispy started talking about No Time to Die. Like, I just started to get it in the, man, I love James Bond movies
too. I wasn't interested in First Light or whatever, and now I kind of am.
Cool. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. I've been kind of like not paying super close attention to it because I'm trying to. I guess I've been trying to brace myself because like I get worried when it's like a property that I really care about. I'm worried they're gonna
made by a
fuck
team
it up
you really
somehow.
hate.
Made by a team that I historically really hate. But I think I'm just kidding. I don't hate.
There's been so many
just,
middling James Bond games. You should be even more excited.
But I've played a lot of those middling James Bond games. I've played Nightfire.
And this is certainly going to be better than the middling
Bloodstone.
ones, right?
Is it going to be better than Bloodstone? I played
like,
Bloodstone.
how could it not be better than Bloodstone? That literally
like
doesn't
Bloodstone.
make sense. I know, which is why you should be very excited for this game.
I'm very excited. And yeah, so that's coming at the end of the month. And let's see, I've done fuck you. So my thank you for the week is gonna go to, oh my god, who do I have to thank?
Wow.
Oh man, I don't know.
You have Brad to thank for buying Mina the Hollower for our Steam family plan.
My second fuck you goes to Brad for not wanting to buy Mina the Hollower on Steam.
Like literally afford.
It's $20.
Oh, $20. Well, nothing.
But
to
you're gonna
you,
buy it
to
on
me.
Switch 2. You're gonna buy it. You're going to buy it. The point is, you're going to buy it on Switch 2 instead of Steam.
You could buy 2 gallons of gasoline for that, Nicholas.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true. Holy shit, man. That is so fucking true. Let's see. My sweats. What am I worried about?
You couldn't thank your wife? What the fuck?
Well, that's that's a deep. I feel like you would call me out if I had said my wife.
Wing in chat says your wife.
Yeah.
Your wife.
Thank you to my wife.
Your wife.
Man, what am I worried? I feel like I'm not very worried about things lately. I've been pretty.
Living the good life.
I know.
Huh?
Nick, of all people.
I know, it's crazy. I just, I'm living my best life.
Wow.
And
I'm glad things are working out.
And Dexter's filming. That's always exciting.
there's the reason.
I just finished rewatching Resurrection. I'm really excited for season 2. Anyways, that's all I got. I probably did the worst 4-player minute here. Anyways, guys, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening. If you are not aware, you can find all of our episodes on 4playernetwork.com. And of course, you can be a part of our community if you want to find us at discord.gg/4player. We would love to have you. Stop in, say hello. You can even drop some information about yourself in the Introduce Yourself channel. It's always nice to hear from new folks. Let us know what you're playing and all that jazz. And of course, we record these episodes live every Thursday night on Twitch. So join us again next week for a new episode. In the meantime, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.